Welcome, everybody, to our Day 2 Shelter in Place Festival. We are so glad to have you back. This is our first performance of the day. It is To See and Be Seen. It is written by John Mabey, and it is starring Sementa Alldredge, KJ James, and it is directed by Sienna Riehle and Benjamin Brown. Enjoy.
More to your left. Yes, that's it.
Are you sure? This doesn't feel like the blue one.
They feel different.
Even markers have personalities.
Hold it closer to your camera. Let me check. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not blue.
This?
Yes, that's the one.
Wow, I feel like I'm the sighted one here.
Sorry, I'm not usually
It's
so...
okay, a joke. It's nice to joke sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should say thanks and let you go then.
Is there anything else I can help you with today? Sorry, we're supposed to ask that even if we weren't very helpful.
Nope, I'm good. And you were helpful. Thanks.
Just confirming what you already knew.
Exactly. Sometimes it's all we need. Are you okay?
Sorry. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Ever since I found this app, I never thought that people would actually volunteer on it. I mean, you must have other things that you could be doing right now. Something funner than this?
I kind of like it. I mean, why does anyone volunteer?
Guilt, usually. I'm Salome, by the way.
Rhea. She, her, hers.
Same.
I don't think we're supposed to share any personal info on this thing. Maybe names are okay, and pronouns and marker color preferences.
Your name, it suits you.
It means flowing. I chose it.
Beautiful.
Some say I don't look like one, though.
That's an awful thing to tell someone.
Probably just code. Folks use code to sound polite, or just the opposite.
Well, you sound like Araya to me.
And what does that sound like?
Full of life, a little anxious. Maybe they always go together. I can't see you, remember? I don't know if you're thoughtfully contemplating what I just said or sticking your tongue out.
Sorry, I forget sometimes.
Most language is nonverbal. Once I completely lost my sight, I realized how quiet everything got in a loud room.
Wow. I never thought about
If
any
you
of
tell
that.
me I'm brave, I swear to God, I'm reporting you on this app.
Just imagining.
Well, thanks again. You saved my daughter from having a meltdown at school today. She's in her blue period, like Picasso.
Awesome. I'm glad to help.
Goodbye then.
Cool. Bye.
So, what's your face doing now?
Sort of staring off in the space. It's been 32 weeks.
Sorry, I think we lost connection. What did you say?
Oh, I was wondering what happened. I said it's been 32 weeks
Since you started helping on this app?
since I've left my house. I guess that's code too.
That's a long time. How do you
Lots,
know,
lots of delivery. And I have an exercise bar hanging off my door. And I talk with a bunch of different people every day on here.
Freya, that's no way to live. I mean, this doesn't really count.
Doesn't it?
We might never even talk again. There's like hundreds of thousands of people on this thing.
Who knows? Blue markers go missing all the time. Sorry, that sounded more threatening than I meant.
What about friends? Family?
People stop asking after a while.
One night, Kara couldn't sleep. Actually, many nights, but this night in particular. She watched something online that I only turned off after I heard the score. You always know what kind of movie it is when you listen to the score. There's a soundtrack, even in real life. And she couldn't sleep because she was afraid that when she opened her eyes, she'd see a ghost in the darkness hovering above her bed.
My mother used to tell me ghosts weren't real.
That works on adults, but not kids. Too smart for that. So I made up this fairy tale that ghosts are everywhere, all the time, even when you can't see them. And just like people, some are good and some are bad.
I like them. Fairy tales.
Did you want me to tell you the
Oh, no.
fairy tale?
No, of course not. That would be silly.
Yeah, okay. There once lived a girl named Gina who spent her days in the most outer reaches of space, far beyond any visible planets that our telescopes on Earth could see.
Fairy tales aren't set in space.
Do you want to hear this or not?
Yep.
Gina lived there with her space cats in a special colony.
I actually don't like cats.
Freya,
Oh, sorry. Continue.
every day before taking their afternoon naps, the cats would go about their daily routine, bathing, hunting for food, bathing, territory rumbles, bathing, and then the pre-nap walkabout. Gina would join them, but as the only human, there were things that Gina couldn't do. She couldn't fall from great heights and land gracefully on her feet. She couldn't purr. She couldn't run at great speeds. And she couldn't see everything that they did. Cats are notorious for their visual acuity, seeing things that no human possibly could.
It's freaky when they just stare at nothing.
Exactly. At least at nothing we can see. So, one night, as Gina slept in her space cabin, she was awoken by a feeling that something was nearby, watching. So, she turned on the light and couldn't see a thing, but the feeling remained.
The cats. Gina, get the cats.
Yes. So, Gina went to her best kitty friend and had her investigate. And sure enough, the kitty looked in the same direction as Gina did before.
I knew Gina wasn't crazy.
But the kitty didn't attack. Instead, she curled in a ball and took a nap on Gina's bed.
Good for nothing cats.
No, it was a good thing. The kitty saw what Gina couldn't.
That not all ghosts are bad.
Well, that was the point for my daughter.
What's mine?
That's what I love about fairy tales. The meaning is always fluid, it changes.
I should let you go.
I've been keeping you as long as you've been keeping me.
Who knows? Maybe the next time you need help, we'll be matched up again.
Yeah, who knows?
So, goodbye, Salome.
Goodbye, Rhea. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Great job, actors, and great job to the directors and the writer. John, if you want to join me for the Q&A. Audience, we will be having a live Q&A. So as we are talking, if you want to post on the Facebook live stream your questions, we would be happy to take them. All right, John, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Where are you sheltering in place today?
I am sheltering in Atlanta, Georgia.
Awesome. Good old Atlanta, hot Atlanta.
Yes, although it's very stormy today.
Us too. That's crazy. So what was your inspiration for this work?
A theme I love writing about is friendship. The beginnings of friendships, the endings of friendships, and everything in between. And I really had these two characters in my head with this chance meeting, and I was really happy to just get them out there and exploring like the start of this new relationship between two people that never would have met otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such an interesting concept because there are these apps that you can come on and help disabled or blind people and be a site for them. What was your inspiration for these specific characters?
I like to bring characters to the stage that I don't often see on stage in great numbers right now. And so I write characters inspired by people in my own life. I have a very wonderful friend pool. I've met so many amazing people that I've been working with, especially in the theater. And so I always try to bring characters to the stage, like more diverse set of characters that I don't see represented very often.
I absolutely love that. And I love, especially in this line, fairy tales. I love fairy tales. The meaning is fluid, and how much that could mean to Rhea and Salome in both of those terms, because Rhea is fluid in her gender. And can you talk a little bit about that and that line?
Yeah, there's certain lines that were very important to me as well. So thank you for also picking up on that. And something I love about fairy tales is fairy tales. If you look at origins of different fairy tales, they can also be so complex and so bright and full of life, and also very dark. But even the darker fairy tales have special meaning. And I remember reading fairy tales when I was younger and reading fairy tales now and getting different meanings from them. And I think they could be a source of great comfort and a way to express how we're feeling in the world in a more magical way.
I love that. What topics are you drawn to in your writing?
I'm very much drawn to topics of relationships, the beginnings and the ends of them. I don't, yeah, I see a lot of like movies and TV shows and plays like, about the beginnings of relationships, but not a lot about how relationships end. And so I like looking at the life cycle of relationships. And I'm also very drawn to spirituality and how people's spirituality affects how they view the world and how they view others.
Okay. That's, I think that's just absolutely beautiful. What advice would you give to aspiring playwrights?
I would say always have a dedicated notebook to play ideas. I have a notebook that is the most random assortment of just lines of dialogue or relationships or character descriptions or ideas that I just write down at the weirdest times. I might wake up in the middle of the night and have an idea, or just daydreaming. So definitely have that notebook. And I would say also right before you feel like you're ready. Don't wait until you feel like I am a writer and I could start this now. Just wherever you are right now, just start writing. Just do it now.
Yeah. I feel like there's that intimidation where we don't feel ready yet or good enough. There's also that barrier. I think we can talk a lot about barriers. There are barriers a lot in your play, but there are also barriers in real life to playwriting and acting and performing that sometimes we just put those barriers in front of us before we even know. Talk a little bit about Rhea and how she has a barrier of going outside. Why did you have that character have a fear or just not want to go outside for 32 weeks besides the quarantine?
Yeah, I something that I was really drawn to at this point, this time that we're all living in, is what happens after. Like not only what is daily life going to look like after, but what about the people that still don't feel safe to leave their house once it is safe to leave their house? And that could be for many reasons. It could be because you've experienced personal discrimination in your own life that made you feel unsafe. And now that you've been indoors a lot, it's harder to take that step back out again. It's almost like the process of coming out, where someone who is coming out in their identity and their sexuality, it's a continual process. And how will this time where we're supposed to sort of stay indoors and seclude and protect ourselves, how will that affect people who are feeling vulnerable when it is time to once again leave?
Mm, yeah, very, very true. Well, I have to ask, what questions do you have for the audience about your work? What do you want the audience to get from this piece?
Um, Almost like the fairy tale where I don't specifically say what Rhea is getting out of the fairy tale. We know what Salome's daughter got out of the fairy tale, but Rhea, that's something more for the audience to interpret. So I would actually love to know what anyone in the audience thinks that Rhea, what the message that Rhea got from the fairy tale. And I don't think that there's any wrong answer, but there's so many right answers. I know my answer. I'd love to know what other people think.
Ah, well, I want to know your answer now, just out of curiosity. Well, friends, we have a few more minutes to talk to John. So if you want to post some of your questions, we would absolutely love that. Let's look at the live feed. Elisa James says, love the premise for the play. And I do as well. We have a lot of heart reactions to this. I think that it's just very heartfelt to see two people connect, and they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave the call. They just want to keep connecting.
My subtitle was the never-ending phone call.
Yes, when you're trying to say bye and then you get hooked up on to another subject. Yes, they just want to keep the friendship blooming. Well, I think we will let you go now. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing this beautiful piece of work. We loved having you.
Oh, thank you so much. I've had so many projects with cancellations and postponements that to actually be making theater right now in this time is incredible. And so thank you to the entire Tap House team, the actors, directors for such a phenomenal job. And thank you for producing this festival.
It was absolutely our pleasure. We can't wait to see more from you. I know I will be following your work after this for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, everyone, please stay tuned for our next performance. It will be a video of our musical, and we will let you know once that is posted. Just follow our Facebook page, and then we will follow up with Neil sometime today after the video is posted. Thank you. Enjoy, everybody.